Welcome to savemake.com. Action, start. Today we are going to discuss about credit cards, but before I get started, I want to confirm the way I am using the colors. So I have 4 color pens that I am using on the whiteboard. The green is what is good for you for making and saving money. The red is what is bad for you for making and saving money. And the blue and the black, they are just write-up points that are important or graphs. So let's start with the topic of credit cards. And the thing that I want to say is that I am starting to get some good feedback about the initiative, and this is a topic that was suggested by one of the viewers. So I love that. He said, Philippe, you need to discuss about that because it's important. A lot of people are wasting a lot of money with credit cards. So what you can see is that I have used the colors to be able to point out what is good and what is not so good. Credit is obviously what is bad, and we are going to explain why. The card actually is fantastic because it's the ease of payment. Brick and mortar, online, whatever transaction, the cards are very helpful. You don't need to have cash or even the checkbook. But one last letter, the S. So the S, you need to be very careful not to have too many cards. And I'm going to tell you a story. I still remember about 20 years ago, a business relationship showed me a stack of 20 credit cards, and he told me I am worth $700,000. Why? Because he had a limit of $35,000 on each, times 20, so 35 by 20, 70, times 10, 700,000. So he thought that he was worth that. And this is completely false. I think you are only worth what you own as equity, and we have already spoken about what equity is. Equity is what you own minus all your debts. So don't be confused. If you are asking me, well, it's very easy. I have 2 credit cards. I have a personal and a business, and this is it. My wife, the same. She has her personal and she has her business one. And we have one when we go abroad because we go once in a while to France, so we have a local one. So total, our household, we have only 5 credit cards. And we live, again, I'm going to repeat that over and over, we live below our means. That's the point which is very important, is to live below your means, not beyond your means. So, when you get the statement, and every month, either you get it online or you get it in the mail, there are a few things that are very important to understand. One, I would recommend that you read your contract. That would be the first. But when you get the statement, there is a line where it's written something like New Balance, and you see it's written in black. So New Balance, it's what you have spent for the period which is considered. The only thing to monitor, is it increasing? Are you spending more every month, every year? So that would be bad. But the New Balance is, again, it's using the card for what it's intended for, which is an easy mean of payment. And then there is the killer. If there is one thing to remember, here is the killer. It's the minimum payment due. So what you should do is to force yourself to pay entirely the New Balance. If you pay at the minimum, that's where the credit card company, they get you. It's because They just want you to acknowledge that you exist and that you are going to continue to pay. But they want you to pay only the minimum. And then they charge you fees that are typically in the high teens, and perhaps even above, so that you pay them a lot of fees. They are in business, they are living out of those fees. And that's the next line, which is very important, is to understand what are those fees. If you don't pay the minimum, now fees are escalating. So not only you are going to pay the 18% that you owe, but then you have additional fees that are added. And again, I suggest that you read your contract. If you are taking cash advances, again, there are ATM fees. So the entire point is that you need to know exactly what the convenience is of that card and not to abuse that card. Also, be careful with international fees, because some cards, when you pay abroad, you have some additional fees. I want also to point out that sometimes, debit cards, you have the feeling that there are no fees because it's directly taken out of your account. But you need to be careful in case you are not able to process that. As always, I suggest to use a tool at the end of the presentation. You need to make a list of all the credit cards that you have, and then what is the balance that you owe, and what can you reimburse so that you get out of debt. So it's all about paying back your credit card debts. Think that that's one of the highest money leak that you have in your household. I hope this is helpful. Please do not hesitate to ask questions, below the video in the comment section. Also, you can contact me through the website, and we always answer to all the questions that we get. So remember, credit card is good, too many and not repaying is bad. Thank you. Bye-bye.